Before we begin, I need to ask you something. Have you ever felt like a moment in your life simply disappeared? A conversation you know happened, a place you remember visiting, but no proof it ever existed. Tonight, on Echoes of the Forgotten, we explore a story that was never meant to be remembered, because remembering it comes with a cost. Turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and listen carefully, because once you hear this story, it may never let you go. My name is Daniel Harper, and for 8 years, I worked as a digital archivist. My job was simple: recover corrupted files, catalog abandoned recordings, and preserve forgotten data for a private media restoration company. Most of it was boring: old radio shows, damaged surveillance footage, home videos from families that no longer existed. Until one night, I received a file that had no sender, no timestamp, no metadata, just a single folder: Archive 217. Inside it were hundreds of audio files, each one labeled with a date followed by a time: 0217 a.m. Every single file. That alone was strange, but what truly unsettled me was the length. Each recording lasted exactly 4 minutes and 33 seconds, not 1 second more, not 1 second less. I played the first file. At first, there was only static, then breathing, slow, uneven, too close to the microphone, and then a voice. My voice. "Hello?" it whispered. "Is someone there?" I froze. I had never recorded anything like this, and yet I knew the cadence, the hesitation, the way the voice swallowed its fear. The recording continued. "They told me not to listen. They said it remembers you when you do." A long pause, then a sound that made my stomach twist. Knocking, not on a door, on glass, from the inside. The file ended. 4 minutes, 33 seconds. I should have deleted the folder. Instead, I listened to more. Each recording featured a different person, different voices, different locations. A woman whispering from a hospital bed, a man crying inside a car that refused to start, a child asking why no one could see him anymore. All of them recorded at 0217 a.m. All of them ending the same way: knocking, glass, silence. Until I found one file labeled with tomorrow's date and my name. I didn't sleep that night. At exactly 0216 a.m., my computer powered on by itself. The folder opened. A new file appeared. Recording in progress. That's when I heard it. Knocking. From my monitor. The screen darkened and reflected something behind me. A shape. Tall. Still. Watching. My phone vibrated. A notification: memory synchronization, 12% complete. I turned around. There was nothing there, but the knocking continued until 0221 a.m., when everything stopped. The next day, people began forgetting me. My coworker didn't recognize my face. Security footage showed me standing still at my desk, not blinking, not breathing. At home, mirrors began lagging behind my movements, and every night at 0217 a.m., Another file was added. Each one sounded less like me. Each one sounded closer to something else. I finally understood. The archive wasn't storing recordings, it was storing people, moments of consciousness trapped between seconds, preserved forever, forgotten by the world. I'm recording this now because I don't have much time left. If you're hearing my voice, it means the archive needed space. It means someone remembered me. It means you listened. At 02:17 a.m. tonight, listen carefully. If you hear knocking, do not answer. Do not look at your reflection, and whatever you do, do not try to remember me. Because the moment you do, you'll hear this story again, from the beginning, in your own voice. Some stories fade, others wait. If you enjoyed this experience, leave a comment, but be careful what you remember. This was Echoes of the Forgotten.
In the autumn of 1997, a man named Ethan Caldwell moved into a small, isolated town after accepting a job offer he didn't remember applying for. The building was an abandoned radio station, buried deep in the woods. No sign, no logo, just a rusted antenna clawing at the sky. Inside, the equipment was old, but warm, as if it had been running non-stop for decades. On the main console, a single note was taped. Do not broadcast after 2:17 a.m. Ethan laughed it off. He shouldn't have. Every night, Ethan monitored empty frequencies. Officially, nothing was transmitting, but at exactly 2:17 a.m., the static changed. It wasn't noise, it was rhythm, almost like breathing. Then a voice broke through the speakers. "Ethan," it whispered. He froze. No caller ID, no signal source. The voice continued. "You're late. We've been waiting." The transmission cut off after 4 minutes and 33 seconds. Dead air returned, but Ethan's reflection in the studio glass smiled. He didn't. The broadcasts continued every night. Different voices, different ages, all asking the same question. Do you remember us? Ethan began recording them. When he played them back during the day, the voices were gone. Only his own remained, begging, crying, saying things he didn't remember saying. The station logs showed something worse. According to the system, the broadcasts weren't being received, they were being sent from him. Ethan searched the town's archives. Missing persons reports filled entire cabinets. Every case shared the same detail. Last known activity, listening to the radio at 2:17 a.m. Some of the names felt familiar, too familiar. When Ethan found a photo of himself, dated 20 years earlier, standing inside the same radio station, he realized the truth. He hadn't arrived, he had returned. At 2:16 a.m., the station locked itself. Lights dimmed. The antenna outside began to move, slowly turning toward the sky. A message appeared on the console screen. Final broadcast ready. The voice returned, not from the speakers, from inside Ethan's head. You were the first to listen. Now you help us be heard. The red on-air light flicked on, and Ethan screamed across every unused frequency. If you're listening right now, the broadcast worked. This story isn't entertainment, it's a transmission, a signal passed from listener to listener.
At 2:17 a.m. tonight, your world will go quiet, your devices will hum, and a voice will call your name. When it does, don't answer, don't listen, and never try to find the station, because once you hear the last frequency, you never stop broadcasting. Static slowly fades into silence. Host, whispering. Some signals are lost, others are waiting. This has been Echoes of the Forgotten, and now that you've listened, it knows you're there.
There was an apartment building at the edge of the city that never stayed occupied for long. No crime reports, no accidents. People simply left. Room 304 was always the last to empty, and yet it was always clean. No dust, no damage, as if someone was still living there, waiting. Her name was Mara Ellis. She moved into room 304 during a difficult period in her life. She liked the silence, the stillness. At night, the room made sounds, not creaks, not pipes, breathing, slow, patient. But Mara told herself it was stress. That was her first mistake. Mara began noticing changes. Furniture shifted slightly. Photos on her phone rearranged themselves. Mirrors reflected her a second too late. And the room learned her habits. Lights turned off when she blinked. The door locked itself after she entered. At exactly 2:17 a.m., the walls grew warm, almost human. Hidden behind a loose panel, Mara found names carved into the wall, hundreds of them, some scratched deep, some barely visible, all followed by the same words, "It knows me now." That night, the room spoke, not aloud, directly into her thoughts. "Stay," it said, "I remember you." The truth came slowly. The room fed on awareness, on routines, on identity. The longer you stayed, the more complete it became, until it no longer needed you to exist. At 2:17 a.m., Mara realized the walls were mimicking her breathing, practicing. Mara was never found. Room 304 was rented again. Fresh paint, same warmth. If this story made you shift in your seat, that's not coincidence. Rooms listen, walls remember, and somewhere nearby there may be a space learning you right now. The ambient hum fades into silence. Host. Some places don't need ghosts, they just need time. This was Echoes of the Forgotten. Sleep well and pay attention to the room you're in. The call came in at 2:17 a.m. No caller ID, no voicemail, just a timestamp dated tomorrow. The owner of the phone was Liam Carter, a night shift dispatcher who had learned to ignore strange hours. He silenced the phone and went back to work. That morning, the missed call disappeared. So did the timestamp. But something else was gone too. An entire conversation from the night before, erased from his memory like it never happened. The calls continued, always at 2:17 a.m., always dated one day ahead. When Liam finally answered, he heard his own voice, not recorded, speaking. "You shouldn't be here," it said. The call lasted 4 minutes and 33 seconds. When it ended, Liam felt a sharp pressure behind his eyes. Later that day, events unfolded exactly as the voice had described, word for word. Each answered call came with a price. Liam forgot small things first, street names, passwords, faces of coworkers.
Photos on his phone began to blur, not the background, just the people. At work, recordings showed him sitting perfectly still during the calls, listening, smiling. Liam discovered the pattern. The calls didn't predict the next day, they borrowed it. Every detail he heard was removed from the future and stored somewhere else, somewhere listening. The voice explained during the next call, "We keep what's remembered. We erase what's lived. You're not hearing tomorrow," it said. "You're giving it to us." One morning, Liam woke up and the city felt wrong. No one remembered the previous day. News feeds skipped 24 hours, clocks jumped forward, and Liam felt hollow. The final call came at 2:17 a.m., not from tomorrow, from now. "You've given enough," the voice said. "Stay on the line." Liam Carter officially exists, but nothing he does leaves a trace. Some nights phones ring without records, no missed calls, no logs. If yours stays silent tonight, that's not luck. It just means someone else answered, and tomorrow is already gone. The ring returns, then cuts to dead air. Host, low, unsettling. Some calls change your plans. Others replace your life. This has been Echoes of the Forgotten. If your phone rings at 2:17 a.m., you know what it wants.
It began on an ordinary Tuesday. No warnings, no alarms. A man named Noah Reeves woke up late and immediately noticed something was wrong. No traffic, no voices, no distant sirens. The city outside his window was perfectly still. People sat in cars, on benches, at cafe tables, all asleep, breathing, unmoving. Noah walked the streets for hours. Phones rang unanswered. Televisions showed frozen images. Airplanes remained suspended on runways. Hospitals were silent, but not empty. Every patient slept peacefully. Doctors, too. Even the newborns. At exactly 2:17 p.m., every digital clock stopped for 1 second, then resumed. Noah felt noticed. Inside a broadcasting station, Noah found a message looping on every frequency. Not audio, text. "Do not wake them. Sleep is mercy. You were not meant to see this." His reflection in the dark studio glass looked wrong, delayed, as if it were watching him instead. Time began to stretch. The sun lingered too long in the sky. Shadows didn't move correctly. Noah started hearing whispers, not voices, but intentions. A presence explaining itself without words. Humanity had been given a choice: remain aware and suffer, or sleep and be preserved. Noah had been overlooked, a mistake. The presence finally spoke. "You can wake them," it said, "but they will scream forever. Or you can sleep and remember nothing." Noah felt exhaustion crush him. His memories began to blur. Names first, faces next. The world leaned closer, waiting. Officially, nothing unusual occurred that day. No global incident, no lost time. But sometimes everything feels quieter than it should. That's not nostalgia. That's mercy. And if tonight you feel unusually tired, don't fight it. Sleep was chosen for you. Wind fades into silence.
Host, soft, reflective. Some endings are loud. Others close their eyes. This was echoes of the forgotten. Rest now. The world already has.